Can you see a rate hike this year or possibly even next year?
Well, I would say with certainty we're not going to see a rate hike in July, and we probably won't see a rate hike in September. Let's see how the world progresses. I think they've always said they're data dependent. So there's still I would say a modest possibility they could still do a 25 basis point tightening in December. If not, we'll have to see. I actually believe the Brexit will lead to more uncertainty. It will lead to modestly slower growth. So I'm under the opinion that it's highly probable they are not going to do any more tightening this year.
Janet Yellen and her colleagues on the FOMC have faced a lot of criticism over that data dependency point. People argue that the data were there and that the Fed should have raised interest rates at some point over the course of the first 2 quarters. Now that we've seen the Brexit, and furthermore, the financial market volatility in December through to mid-February, can we look back and say they were right to keep their feet on the gas pedal and to keep interest and to keep monetary policy as loose as it is?
They being the Fed being right. Yes, absolutely. I don't agree that they should have tightened. I don't think the data is entirely there. We still have modest inflation. We have a weakening economy. They revised the first quarter from 1 to 1.1. We have actually weakening corporate profits. And so you add that up, I actually believe it was appropriate for them to pause.
Now, what happens to the other central banks? With this uncertainty, Draghi, I failed to mention Mr. Draghi, of course. Governments have been unwilling to act thus far. As you pointed out, we have elections coming up. Action is going to be months, if not many quarters away.
So there's been vast criticism of the ECB policies within Germany and other parts of Europe. I think that criticism is going to abate. I believe the Brexit and all the uncertainty, it will allow the ECB and Mario Draghi more freedom and flexibility if they need to be providing more stimulus.
Sure, but we know now that stimulus, look what happened in Japan. More stimulus in the form of negative interest rates doesn't always deliver the desired outcome.
I'm under the view negative interest rates produces negative outcomes. That should not be a surprise, especially in places of Japan and Europe.
It was a mistake, in other words.
I personally believe negative interest rates are a mistake. It's less of a mistake in Europe. You're actually seeing more lending. You've seen a modest increase in lending. The problem is, I actually think it's depressive to consumer confidence, because in Japan, in Europe, the majority of society are saving in the form of bank deposits and bonds. When you have negative interest rates, you're harming these savers. You're harming their ability to save to live in retirement. So what it means they have to save more. It means they consume less.